Hey guys, it's your buddy Rome again. If you watched my previous video on the VIFLY duck guard lights, you guys are amazing that you took the time to watch that video. Well guys, I have a second video for you. This is also from VIFLY. Now these are their tactical lights for the DJI Avata 2. It's a two-piece component. Now you can use both of the components or you can just use one of them. It's totally up to you. But if you're like me and you do some commercial work where you're doing inspections, you're doing real estate or things like that, these little tactical lights will really come in handy. Also for those out there who are doing security work or maybe law enforcement, this could also be a practical accessory for your DJI Avata 2. So let's take a look at what comes in the box really quickly here. As you guys can see, we get a thank you card. We get some 3M tape. We get a instruction manual for the light. And then we get each one of the lights individually packaged, which we will go over here in just a second. Okay, so let's start off with the under the frame lights. And you have two of those, and these are going to mount directly underneath the body of your Avata 2, and this is light number 1, and here is light number 2. You also receive an Allen key, and for the most part that is going to be for adjusting the other light. So you get one of these Allen keys. I'm not sure what the size is on this. If I do find out, I'll put it down in the description. All right, so here's our main top light. So this is the light unit, 2 emitters here in the front, power button on the back, USB-C for charging. It is in a little cradle. You can detach the cradle like so. And then this is going to stick onto the top of your drone, something like that. Position it in place. So as you guys can see with this drone, I do have a spine protector on here, but because this is pliable, I don't think that's going to be an issue. That should just fit right on here without any problem. Or I could just bring it all the way back and just secure it right about here. And that's going to give it pretty much the same positioning for the drone. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of things first. Now in their documentation here on their website, you guys can see that they say that this is a total weight for these lights is 50 grams. So we're going to check that just to be sure. I like to make sure I'm giving you guys the most accurate information that I can. So I have my trusty scale here. And the total weight that I'm getting here is 52 grams, 53 depending on how I place it. But that's about right, guys. That's, you know, pretty close to what they're advertising. 50 grams, 52 grams. It's going to fall right in there. So we're good to go. All right. So let's start the assembly process. All right, so we're going to start with the bottom of the drone. Now, as you guys can see here, I have some landing gear that's on this drone already. So we're just going to take that off. This just pops off like so. You're just going to remove it from the ducts. All right, so now we have that detached. And this will somewhat be like a light landing gear. Again, you have your buttons here on the bottom to turn this light on. So if I didn't show you guys that, you're just going to press and hold this button that turns the light on. Press and hold to turn the light off. Now, to mount these, you're just going to pretty much just line these up with the frame, and they just go on like that. And they pretty much secure right in place, as you guys can see. And let's go to our second one. Basically, rinse and repeat. All right, I just want to snug those in there real tight so you guys can see now what that looks like. And that's going to give you your ground light. All right, so let's get to the top. And it's also going to give us, like I said, a little bit of clearance. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but the motors are not touching the ground. All right, so this mount, from what I can tell, is universal. So it just clips on either direction, like so. So that means we should be able to technically mount this pretty much where we want to. So we're just going to mount this on here like so. We have the 3M tape. We're just going to go ahead and remove that. Line this up exactly how you want it. And you guys can see what that looks like. And I just want to make sure it's making contact all the way around. Now, another thing you can do if you have a hair dryer or another device that generates heat, you can heat this up a little bit and give this time to adhere. But most of you guys who've installed a GoPro accessory knows what I'm talking about here. And then this head cannot easily be adjusted, but you can tilt the head up or down. It does have some tension in it, which is nice. So you can decide which way you want this to be facing. So if you're going to be flying pretty level, then you can have the light, you know, facing forward like so. All right, so now we can just mount our light back on. All right, so that's pretty much what it looks like. So you have a top mounted light here. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with this tape mount, you can use some standard double-sided tape. And I think that's what I saw a few other people using with this. Now, this is a different material, the spine protector, than the top of the actual drone. So I may have to resort to using double-sided tape. All right, so looking at it, once it's assembled, simply enough, you can just press the button to power this guy on. Now our light is on. As you guys can see, you have two different light modes. You have your high beam, your low beam, and then if you turn the lights on underneath here, press and hold. Same here, press and hold. So you have your blinking. Let's go ahead and do that again. So now you have your blinking lights. You have a strobe. And if we press it a fourth time, it goes back to solid. And then to turn them off, you can just press and hold. On each one of them, press and hold that button. And that's going to turn your lights off. So yeah, really nice design, really nice setup. As I said, I will use probably a different tape on here just to give this a little bit more adhesion to this specific area here. But other than that, this is a brilliant application, guys, for a little portable light, you know, for inspections, for, you know, rescues, for exploring, whatever the case it is. These lights really add a bunch of depth to the drone, and it's not going to add a ton of weight to the drone. So I'll give you guys an idea of how much the drone weighs in total right now. All right, guys, so our total weight on our drone right now is 385 grams. Let's take that off again. Let's try it one more time. Yep, technically 386 grams is what I'm seeing there. So it did not add a lot of weight to the drone. As you know, this drone is a very powerful little drone for its size, so it should be able to accommodate these accessories with no problem whatsoever. So the only thing we have left to do is to put this guy in the air for a little flight. I am in a FIFA zone, so I cannot take the drone out, you know, for a flight today outside. So what I will do is just probably fly this around the studio just to give you guys an idea of what we can do with this. So let's get to it. All right, guys, my final thoughts on the light system, this tactical light system. I do like it a lot. I think this is going to be ideal for some of my exploring as well as some of my commercial applications when I'm doing inspections or doing some types of real estate, not all real estate. And the fact that we have these lower lights here, they can also make it more accessible for us to be able to visually see this drone in the air, especially if you're flying at night, because you know you have to have, you know, strobe lights on your drone, your aircraft when you're flying at night, and this should accommodate that. So it's a great accessory, guys. Very easy to install. They just clip right on, as you guys can see here. And when you combine that with other accessories, or if you just use these by themselves, if that's something that you guys might be interested in, just having these lower lights And you can see here how snug these fit up to the aircraft frame. Now this does block the door for the SD card and charging, but again, they're very easy to take them off if you needed to be able to take them off for whatever reason. So once you have everything wired up the way you need it, this is going to be ideal. All right, guys, it's been your buddy Rome with Rome Knows Tech, and I just want to do a quick video on these additional lights for my friends over at VIFLY. I like these a lot. I think these are worth you guys taking a look at. And if you've already invested in a set of these lights, let us know down in the comments what you guys think of them. Would you recommend them to others? Yeah, that's how we work as a community. All right, guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe. Peace. I'm out.